When we woke up that morning, something felt wrong in a way I still can't explain. The campsite looked familiar, yet off, like someone had quietly rearranged reality while we slept. We stood there staring at the tents, trying to understand why everything felt misplaced. None of us remembered falling asleep, and none of us remembered dreaming, at least not clearly. Then Ally spoke up. She said she dreamt of walking a lion through a desert, while someone counted her footsteps aloud. And Kevin said he dreamt of marching with soldiers, every step in perfect, trance-like rhythm. Seb and I had nothing. No dreams, no fragments, just empty sleep. But hearing Ally and Kevin describe theirs made the air feel heavier, like something was shifting between us. The vibe had changed. It felt like we weren't four separate people anymore, but one mood, one mind, spread across four bodies. When I looked at my friends, it felt like something else stood with us, silent, invisible, part of all of us at once. Not watching from the outside, but watching from within. We tried to ignore the uneasiness, tried to examine the campsite logically. Kevin suggested maybe we got drunk and forgot everything, but that theory died instantly. There were drag marks in the dirt, long grooves showing where each tent had originally been, and those marks stopped cleanly, 10 feet before the tent's final positions, as if something had dragged them, then lifted them. No footprints, no tire tracks, no signs of animals, just perfect drag lines that ended too soon. Then we noticed a stone pile in the center of the clearing. For stones, stacked with almost impossible balance, forming a small, deliberate monument. Under normal circumstances, it might have looked artistic, peaceful even, but here, it felt precise, intentional wrong. Kevin stepped closer to inspect it, tripped on a root, and knocked the whole stack over. The stones scattered harmlessly across the dirt. We all froze, staring at the mess, waiting for something, anything, to happen. Instead, the forest went dead silent. Too silent. Then it hit us. A low, distant rumbling, rolling through the forest. Not thunder, not machinery. Something deeper, like massive stones grinding together, or a giant door being forced open somewhere far away. The sound didn't make sense, but our reaction did. Panic hit us all at the same time, like our fear was synced. Nobody spoke. Nobody needed to. We just knew. We needed to leave. We packed faster than I ever thought humanly possible. Maybe under 5 minutes, but it felt endless. The silent coordination between us was the most disturbing part. No arguing, no planning, just pure survival instinct, shared across a group in perfect harmony, like we were all feeling the same exact fear. That rumbling sound never grew closer, but it never faded either. It just sat there in the distance, vibrating in our bones. When we finally made it into the car and drove off, nobody spoke. It wasn't relief. It was the kind of silence you get when everyone is trying not to think about the same awful truth. 5 years have passed since that morning. We barely talk anymore. Kevin lives in Denver, Ally's in grad school in California, Seb's in Chicago. We send messages sometimes, but none of us ever mention the campsite. It's like an unspoken pact. Even now, I can't think about that morning for too long. It feels like a sealed memory, one that pushes back when I try to open it. There's always this pressure in my chest, like something warning me to stop. I don't know if the dreams, the tents, the stone monument, or the rumbling were connected, but the feeling of being watched, of sharing thoughts that weren't mine, still crawls under my skin. Sometimes, I wonder what would have happened if Kevin hadn't knocked over those stones. Or worse, if we'd stayed. We never reported it, never returned. If you ask why, I can't give a clean answer. Fear, maybe, or the sense that saying it out loud would bring it back. But every time I write about it, every time I remember, I feel that same pressure behind me. Like something is leaning over my shoulder, listening. All I know is this: leaving was the smartest thing we did, even if we never understand what we ran from. My name is Simon, and the second story started last summer when I was 23. My girlfriend Cadence and I planned a quiet camping trip in the Uhori National Forest. Just a weekend to reconnect. We found a site 3 miles down a rough service road. Isolated enough to be private, but not abandoned. We arrived near sunset, set up the tent, and sat by the fire. For the first few hours, it felt perfect. We talked softly, drank a couple beers, and finally felt close again. Around 10, Cadence went to brush her teeth, and that's when he appeared, a man standing at the edge of our campsite. No footsteps, no warning. He introduced himself as Aiden, said he was camping alone in the blue sedan we'd passed earlier, but something about him felt off. His stare held too long, and when Cadence returned, his attention shifted completely to her. He said he wanted solitude, yet he stood in our sight making conversation. Eventually, I told him we were heading to bed, and he slipped back into the darkness without using a flashlight. That night, I woke to the sound of voices outside the tent. 2 people talking softly, too close. I looked at Cadence, still asleep, and protective instinct kicked in. I unzipped the tent quietly. The moment I moved, the voices stopped, like they'd been listening for me. I scanned the campsite with my phone flashlight, but nothing moved. Eventually, I crawled back inside and tried to sleep. In the morning, I said nothing. No point in freaking Cadence out. After a long day of hiking, we returned to our truck, and there it was, a napkin tucked under the windshield wiper. Inside, a message written in shaky handwriting. You should move your tent. I showed Cadence. Her face went cold. She whispered, Aiden. And right then, almost like he'd been waiting, Aiden walked into our campsite again. Same clothes, same stare. I confronted him, and he apologized, claiming he'd found weird activity in these woods, abandoned campsites, strange signs. He said someone circled his car the night before. He was leaving early, and he said we should, too. Cadence was already freaking out, so we packed up fast. The sun was nearly gone, the forest growing darker by the minute. We loaded everything into the car and started driving out. But as we passed Aiden's campsite, something made me stop. His sedan was still there. He hadn't left. I asked what he was doing. He stepped aside, and that's when we saw it. A deep, deliberate gash cut straight through his tire. His voice cracked when he asked for a ride. Cadence grabbed my arm, whispering, begging me not to let him in. I told him I couldn't take him, but I'd call the police once we got service. He nodded uneasy. We drove off. 100 yards down the road, I saw them. 3 figures standing between the trees, maybe 30 feet off the road. Not hiding, not moving, just watching. I hit the brakes without thinking. Cadence screamed, full panic, for me to drive. I floored it. Only when we reached the highway did either of us breathe. With service finally back, I pulled over and called 911. I told them everything. The voices, the note, the slashed tire, the figures. They said they'd send someone. We never heard back. The drive home was silent. Cadence stared out the window like she expected someone to appear beside the car. I kept thinking about Aiden, whether he was involved or another victim. Cadence insisted he was part of it, but her voice didn't sound convinced, just scared. Weeks later, the image of those 3 figures still stuck with me. The way they stood, organized, deliberate, felt rehearsed, not random. And the way they watched us, like we had stumbled into something we weren't supposed to see. Sometimes I imagine Aiden's still out there, surrounded by those silent watchers. Or worse, joining them. We never got answers. The police found nothing. Cadence refuses to talk about the trip, and I've stopped bringing it up. But sometimes when I'm alone in a quiet place, I hear something, soft voices, faint footsteps, or a rustle just outside my window. Probably nothing. Probably stress. But part of me wonders if whatever watched us in those woods remembers us, and whether it's waiting for another chance to step closer.